Hey, you, it's Always Bookin Comedy. It's Monday night. I'm Mark Masters. Psyched to be here. Missing a guest. Gonna check in. Gonna send a quick email. Let's see. We are live. Let's send the link. Let's make that easy for him. Okay. We got a great guest. Don't know if they're going to show up. In the meantime, I can tell stories. That's pretty easy. Thought of a good story recently. Don't know what it is, but last night did a sold out show in Edwards, Colorado. That was super fun. I can talk you guys through that. I went to a concert the night before and maybe had a couple too many beers and was a little hungover at this show, which was new for me. I was setting it up and had quite a number of disasters. For one, the $1,000 spotlight I have, it has a twisty tightener thing to attach to the $30 tripod it sits on, which always makes me nervous. Very expensive spotlight on a tripod, can easily fall over. It's very top heavy, and the the bolt was missing. And a couple weeks ago, I did a show in Red Cliff, Colorado, which was super fun. Adam Kate and Holland headlined. We sold it out. We just recently booked a new show at that venue. It's a weird little tiny town. I think they have like 200 people in this town. It is teeny tiny. And so anyways, at the end of the show, there was like this extra little, it's like a little black piece of plastic with a threaded screw on the end of it. And I asked the venue if it was theirs. They didn't think it was. And so I just tucked it somewhere. And flash forward a couple weeks, I'm setting up the lights last night. That light is missing a thing, which I never really noticed was part of the assembly. And so I had no idea where it was. I looked in a couple places and things I had with me. It could have been in storage where I keep all my stuff for show running and the annual festival, etc. Turns out it was in my camera bag, which I now have a camera bag. And I spent like an hour, including looking through my own personal trash, thinking that I might have thrown it away with food and everything. It was pretty disgusting. And then thought to look in the camera bag and found it in the camera bag. So reunited with that. And the whole show, I was like worried that the light was going to tip over or something. I did not tip over, spoiler alert. So pretty lucky there. That was problem number one. Problem number two, I have a new fancy attachment to the front of my spotlight to make an actual spotlight. So the generic out of the box thing with this fancy light is what I call a shotgun. It basically lights up the entire back wall. It's really good for photography. All the video and camera stuff looks outstanding. And so I had to switch back to that, even though I'd planned to do a spotlight, because there was like a broken screw on one of the two pieces that converts it into a spotlight. I see our guest is trying to connect right now. So if I'll interrupt this story once they get on. What I'm going to do is real quick, put my cell phone number just in case they can hear me into a private chat. I hope that was private. Call me if you're having trouble connecting. Or maybe I just need to add him. Oh, here we go. Patrick, can you turn your camera on? Yeah. He dropped off for a second. We'll see once his camera comes back on. So that was problem two. Problem three from last night's show. I have a little MP3 player. I hook it up to the sound system that I have. It plays on the rear speaker, which what a life hack for great comedy shows. Even last night was a 60-seater. Having a rear speaker is such a great improvement to a comedy show because the people in the back can't be chatty. And there's great sound back there. And that's where people get drunk and belligerent. And it shuts them up. It's great. The sound actually last night was better in the back half of the showroom than the front, just incrementally. But anyways, the MP3 player has a little SD card. It had no songs on it. I'm hungover. I'm in a rush. I'm like, oh, the SD card isn't in it anymore. Okay, I'm getting a phone call. I'm guessing this is our guest. Hey, hello. Hey, what's up? Okay, does your camera work? Huh. Do you want to try and join by your cell phone? Just click that same link and turn the cell phone sideways. See if that works. Call me back in a minute if it doesn't. All right, bye. All right, we're still live, everybody. So anyways, no SD card. Come back home, looking all over for this little SD card. Can't find it. Pull up the little MP3 player. Sure enough, the SD card is in it. I don't even know what I was doing yesterday, but it said no songs on the MP3 player. And then I didn't think it was a big deal because the house had music. It was a wine bar. They had music. But then at the end of the show, it was kind of awkward because it's really cool. At the end of the show, I can just turn on the music immediately. I just leave it playing during the whole show, but at 0 volume. And then right from the stage, when I say goodnight, I turn up the music, and that's super nice. So our guest right now is trying to get the video to work. We'll see. I don't know what that means. And I suggested to try a cell phone. We'll see if that works. So what else can I tell you about last night's show? Here's a mistake. We had some... I'm not an ageist in any way, especially being a little bit of an older comedian. But we had some older folks up front. They don't hear as great. They don't laugh as well all the time. And they had paid for expensive VIP front row tickets. This is something I might need to rethink because you don't necessarily want the people paying the most to be in the front row. All right, we got video. Oh, I lost me. There we go. Hey, look at that. We're 7 minutes in and we're rocking and rolling. How are you? It's okay if it's only up and down, but sometimes if you turn it sideways, it does it
goes upside down when I turn it sideways.
Okay. All right. That's fine. How are you, Patrick?
Good. How you doing, man?
All right. Look at that. We got people online saying, welcome to Mark in North Carolina. Do you know who Patrick is? I don't know. Patrick's been all over the world. We're going to hear about him all over the country, at least. Tell us about, I don't know, how long ago did you start comedy, Patrick?
Well, it's hard for me to hear you right now.
Oh, okay. I'll type, I'm going to type a question. Maybe you'll see that. Let's see.
Is there any way to put it on speaker here?
Should be. I'll give you a thumbs up. Oops. And he's gone. Unfortunately, no. All right. Well, anyways, Patrick, super interesting guy. I can't wait to chat with him. Hopefully we'll see if this works. Maybe we'll patch him in by cell phone. So anyway, that was another interesting thing about last night's show. Here we go. He's back. Let's see if this works.
All right. I can hear you now.
Oh, all right. Hell yeah.
Anytime I turn it sideways, though, it makes it go upside down. So I don't know.
Okay. All right. That's good enough. The important thing is you're here to talk about comedy because you know so much. So when did you start comedy?
Oh my God. I started when I was 20 years old.
What?
So I've been doing 23 years now.
23 years of comedy. That might be a record for Always Bookin Comedy. Maybe not. We had, I forget his name, but Dobie Maxwell. Been doing it like 30 plus years. So what was comedy very like that long ago? There were no iPhones, right?
Cell phones. Yeah, they weren't really a thing. It was still like the flip phones.
Did you have like one of those like a cassette tape recorder you would bring on stage, like a boombox, and hit record?
No, I really didn't even start recording my stuff until a few years in. You know, like I don't even write anything down normally. Like I'm one of those like different kind of comics. Like Sam Kinison never wrote anything down, but George Carlin would write everything down. Then he would smoke a joint and go back over everything and punch it up. You know, so it's like whatever pings my radar is when I start. You know, and then I can usually tell when I'm on stage what bits I hate watching myself. You know, like So I was like, hate going back over stuff, but again, yeah, I'm pretty honest with myself when I know when I do good and I know when I do bad.
Got it. What's your favorite part of the country? Have you been to every state to perform?
I haven't performed in every state, but I've pretty much been through every state. I think the only one I haven't been to is in the lower 50 is Maine, and then Alaska and Hawaii are the only three that I haven't been to.
Right on. That's wild. Is there a part of the country you enjoy performing in more?
Not really. I mean, I think every part of the country, different parts of the country has its own kind of charm, you know, and And I always say, like, because people ask, where's your favorite place to go? And I always tell people, it's like, any place you go is only as good as the people you know when you go there. So try to meet awesome people everywhere. That way, everywhere you go is awesome.
Nice. I love it. So tell us about your car, your old car, the white one.
Well, I've had a few. The first one was the '94 Honda Accord, and had 387,000 miles on it. And
Wow.
yeah, this thing, it was it was like it knew I was trying to get rid of it. Like anytime I got a little bit of money saved, it was like, oh, saw you looking at that Hyundai distributor cap, and it was like an abusive relationship, and I hated the thing. But then I kind of had this idea, like, I would, what if I had people sign it? Because even if I traded, it was only like worth like $500 anyway, And then I started having people sign it, and then it really changed my perspective of like, I really turned something that I really hated into something that I loved. That was my car. That was the road dog car, And then
When you say people sign it, you mean audience members or comics you were working with,
everybody,
or random
yeah.
people
Every
you work
comics
with?
I work with, audience members, it was just totally graffitied out. And so it went from something that I was like, I
What
couldn't
kind of
stand it.
marker do you use for that? Just a regular Sharpie?
No, I would use like these paint markers, because they would stay on longer,
Mhm.
And then but yeah, so after I started having people sign it, then anytime I needed a car repair, it went from, you piece of shit to, come on, baby, just give me, like, so really, like, I think that's a lot to do with things. It's like when your perception, the way you perceive things. And I was like, I turned that albatross into something that was like, I was proud of.
Nice. So I've seen a picture of it. It looked like it was totally full of signatures. Did you
Well, that's so I
eventually?
wrecked that one. I wrecked it,
Oh,
and
okay.
then I had to put up a GoFundMe, and then my fans uh, helped me get this Honda CRV, and it was green when I first got it. So then I had it painted white, and that's the one that's my profile picture on Facebook. And that one's retired at my girlfriend's place in Arizona. And I got this little Kia Sportage right now, and I'm just saving up to try to get that painted white. Then I'm gonna start over again.
Nice. Nice. Do you find it like, how does that work? Like, will people walk a couple blocks to your car from a venue? Like, how do you even, do you close out the show and just say, hey, come sign my
Normally,
car?
yeah, yeah. I mean, I've had people follow me to the parking garage and stuff. Like, if it's far away, but some people will definitely do it. And then a lot of venues, like, I could park it right out front. It's like I'll just head off stage, and then I'll do the meet and greet out front, and then I have people sign the car and stuff. And it was like, because I'm not good at social media. Like, I'm not good at, like, I'm more of an introvert. So and that was another reason I like having people sign that car, because it literally like forced me to interact with everybody. And then in the car became its own thing. It was more about, I don't like taking selfies and stuff. So the car was like, it would, people would look around. It would give me time too to like talk with people whilst the other people were looking around for a spot to sign. And then it was like kind of like, a little assembly line. People would come. So it was just,
Would
it worked
have
out
like
good.
red lights? Would people look at you funny?
I've had people jump out of red lights and sign it. Like, they would pull up, and they were like, "Yo, look at that sign." I was like, "Yeah, as long as you get it before it turns green."
That's hilarious. That's funny. All right. Well, you're also well known for being kind of a nomad, a comedian nomad on the road all the time. Talk to us
Yeah.
about that. And I guess, like, I mean, the first question I'd have is like, what happened during the pandemic?
Oh. So yeah, I mean, so I've been doing comedy for 23 years, but since 2010, I've been doing it with no residence. Like, so like I said, like you said, I'm always on tour, like nonstop. Like, if I have a week off, it's not because I wanted a week off. It's because a booker didn't get back to me or whatever, and I'm just stuck. So then when the pandemic happened, I remember I was in North Carolina, and then I was going to go up through DC and Maryland, where I grew up, stay with a friend that I've known since middle school, and I usually crash with her. And I'm past this her name's Heather, and then I would go to Pennsylvania after that, and then so I'm staying with her, and then everything shut down. Everything just went to shit, and then she was super sweet, and she was like, "You could stay." She's like, she had 2 roommates. She had a downstairs roommate, this Korean dude named Chung, who was like, "You could stay." She's 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 like, "You could stay." who was he was essential because he was like he did HVAC stuff, and then she had an upstairs roommate named Rob. And so I'm sleeping on the couch. It's like a little townhouse. I'm sleeping on the couch that's next to the kitchen. And then after a week, Chung was like, "Hey man, you want to?" It's like he had a whole basement, so it was like that was like his apartment. So he had a whole like, man, if you want to come downstairs, it's, I got a futon. You won't be up here. You can get kind of your own spot. I was like, dude, I just met this guy. I was like, I don't want to impose on you, man. Like, I don't. I feel bad. He was like, no, come on down. So fast forward another 2 weeks, man, we're laughing, having the best time. I go, bro, if it wasn't for the thousands of dollars I was losing in income right now, I go, this would be the best time of my life. This is, it's like if I was 13 years old, it's like a nonstop sleepover. Great. And he's smoking a bong. And he goes, I feel bad because I'm actually hoping you get more work canceled so you have to stay longer. and then when I stayed there for like 2 months. And it was just crazy. And then finally, my first gig was out in Arizona. That's when I met my girlfriend. And but when I was on my way out west, I got a text from Chung. He goes, "Man, I've never had a brother, but if I did have one, I bet that's what it would have been like." And I was like, and he's one of my best friends to this day. Like his name, yeah, he's one of the best human beings. And he went from acquaintance to like top shelf friend so fast, and like I still talk to him, and I still see him whenever I go out there. He's just a great human being,
That's awesome. Yeah. That's incredible. So you're in your car all the time. Any tricks for people out on the road?
I mean, get a Planet Fitness membership. Black card. Yeah.
Are you black card? Yeah.
So you can go all of them. And then
this is really just for me, but where's the worst Planet Fitness and maybe the best Planet Fitness you've been to?
I mean, I can't even keep track of them there. I mean, there's been some rough ones.
I can tell you for sure, Albuquerque was the worst one I'd ever been to.
Albuquerque. That sounds okay. Yeah. That sounds about right.
There were homeless people showering. I had 20 minutes to shower.
I'm one of them.
And
I'm one of those homeless people showering.
Yeah. Well, no, they were there. I waited for 20 minutes and I had to leave and go do an hour of comedy. I'd been driving for like 2 days.
That's
I don't know what they were doing, but they were just in there forever. So anyways,
I tell you, one was real nice. It's like, how they have like the water massage things.
Yeah.
I remember one of them had a door. So I just went in there and shut the door. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I just laid there and I slept on that thing. I was like, "Can I get a massage?" And they never checked on me. Dude, I slept in that Planet Fitness for like 6 hours. Yeah. Well, I was like, "Do they know I'm sleeping in here?"
That's hilarious.
So that was nice.
I think one of the nicest ones I've ever been to was where we met. It was somewhere in Arizona near Glendale. And what I really liked about it is really getting in the weeds of Planet Fitness, but the showers had like an ante room. Like, so you walk through a curtain into a room that has like a little stool, and then you turn and there's another curtain, and that's the actual shower. So like you have like a changing kind of, I don't know what you call it, a foyer to a shower.
Yeah.
I was very impressed with that. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm very judgy with my Planet Fitnesses.
Yeah, exactly. Like the gym, I find the gym is almost always the same. Like I don't usually dislike or especially like the gym itself, but it's the bathrooms that I really they change Planet Fitness.
Yeah.
To Planet Fitness. Yeah. Okay, so that's number one. Get a Planet Fitness membership. I'm on board with that. Yeah. What else?
Just make as many friends as you can, so you just have a surplus of couches and futons and air matches wherever, man. Try just it's like that game, the lava game when you're a kid. You're just and it's sleeping in your car is the lava.
Yeah.
And then you just try to like go to as many places like as you can to have a place to cry. And normally, it's not too like. I'm not a nuisance. I'm only staying for like maybe a week, in some places 2 weeks, but I'm working on the weekends, so it's not that bad,
Yeah.
People like I'm a good house guest, people like having me around.
Yeah.
I got lots of good shows and stuff that I'm showing, show my friends. So
nice. What are you into recently? Watching?
So is one of my favorite ones was Warrior, which was like it's like it's as if Quentin Tarantino did a kung fu series, and I
Okay.
thought that was outstanding. They even do a little homage to Tarantino at the end of the first season, but dude, it's great. It's based on Bruce Lee's writings. It takes place like 15 years after the Civil War in San Francisco, and these three Asian gangs are fighting over supremacy of Chinatown and saying everybody's got their own agenda. It's like Game of Thrones, but like with Asian gang, dude. It's awesome. Like
Where,
that
do you know
one.
what network it's on or streaming service?
So it started on Cinemax, and then
Okay.
HBO bought Cinemax. So nobody saw it when it first came out because it was on Cinemax. Nobody had Cinemax, and the HBO bought it, and then it had 3 seasons, and then they didn't continue it. So it's got 3 seasons. And it got moved to Netflix. So I'm hoping enough people watch it on Netflix so it gets picked up because
Huh.
it's outstanding. Severance is another one
Oh,
that
it's
is,
so good. The second
oh my
season
god,
isn't out yet, right?
it's coming, man. I can't wait
Coming
for that.
soon. Yeah, yeah. That
That
last episode, the
that
most
that oh my
tension
god,
I've ever
dude, that
experienced in a TV
dude,
show. It's incredible.
yeah. I was like, oh, my girlfriend and I, because she didn't know what it was about. So I just put it on for her. I was like, yeah, let's check this, and we were really into it. And then like that finale, we just looked
Oh,
at each other like, oh my god, dude,
that was
that's so
insane.
good.
That was great.
I showed that to my buddy in Florida, and he was like, dude, this is one of the best shows I've ever seen. I was like, it's so underrated how good it is.
It's so
Speaking
good.
of Apple TV, they're knocking it out of the park with the sci-fi because I just saw this other one. It's a limited series called Dark Matter with Joel Edgerton and Jennifer Connelly, and this one is so Joel Edgerton, he builds this box that can take him to across the multiverse. So he builds this thing, but then he kidnaps himself from another universe because he's upset that he with the decision he made in his life that he didn't stay with his wife and have the baby. So he
Mhm.
kidnaps the dude that stays with his wife and the switch lives and it dude, and then he's just like, what the hell is going on? It's great. That one, like you get kidnapped by yourself from an evil you from another dimension, basically
Wow.
is what the yeah. So another multiverse dimension.
That's
That one's
cool.
pretty great.
That's
Yeah.
great.
And
We, we
I like that it's a mini series, so it has the beginning and an end. It's one season, 9 episodes. That's it.
yeah, the worst is when you get into something and they cancel it like on a cliffhanger. I can't
Yeah,
see
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
They should have a
Uh,
warning. They should let you know, like,
that's what I'm
hey,
hoping
this
for
is 5
Warrior,
seasons, but yeah,
dude. Warrior's so good. Warrior deserves one more season, man. That
yeah,
thing. That's what happened to it. I really like that. That it was out a few years ago, but Happy with
didn't see it.
Christopher Maloney.
Okay.
His estranged daughter that he doesn't even know about gets kidnapped, but she has an imaginary friend that's like this flying cartoon Pegasus thing voiced by Patton Oswalt, and only he can see it. So it's like, and it is, it's like he's a murdering psychopath. So it's like totally violent. So this child's imaginary friend is like, you're crazy, Nick. Like he's just murdering people. He's like, that's not very nice. And he thinks he's going crazy, but then he starts believing that it's actually real because it's like there's 5 guys coming around the corner. He's like, oh, I can do 5. And then afterwards, he's like, how'd you know there were 5? So then he starts believing that it's real, that he can, so he starts using it. I thought
Nice.
that one was really good.
We got a
So,
question online, and I got a question about like routing tours and stuff. So the question
uh,
is, have you ever had second thoughts about crashing on friends' couches? Do you ever worry about overstaying your welcome? Followed by, I know you said you're there max 1 week, but any tips to have people say yes and not feel guilty?
no, I mean, like, if you're gonna invite me over, then like we should, what I'm saying, like, then you're a friend, and like, I mean, and I can tell I'm already routed out, like I know how long I'm staying. That's part of the
Yeah,
thing where like, oh,
there's a hard stop to it.
yeah. They're like, oh, I'm coming through town. Like, oh, how long are you staying for? I was like, I'm staying from here to here. And they're like, yeah, no problem. And then that's it. And then it's not.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't ever have any issue with like overstaying my welcome because like they know, and I've been doing this for so long that they know I'm coming around at certain times a year. So it's but the routing is the hard part because I have to do everything myself. Like I'm the tour manager.
Yeah, so
I'm,
that's what I'm a little curious about. Like to start with, what's your farthest out booked date right now? Like, do you have anything in 2025 yet?
Yeah, I got my whole February is already filled in 2025.
Okay, cool. What
Yeah,
part
and
of the country?
I'm Florida.
Okay, nice.
December through like mid March, I'm in Florida.
Okay,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, because that's why I'm in the Southwest. People are always like, why are you always go to the Southwest during the hottest months? It's like, so I could be in Florida during the, during the cold, but that's the trade off. And I
Right.
can't remember what comment goes, you don't have to you don't have to shovel heat, you know. So this is like, and I don't want to drive
Nice.
through that
Now,
crap,
what do you do if you're like let's say you get like a well-paying gig in February 2025 on a night you're not working, but it's in like San Diego. Will
Oof.
you fly from your home base ever for like a one-nighter or something?
It better be a hell of a one nighter, you
Okay.
know. Like I did a wedding once for like a couple grand because I worked at a Comedy Zone, and then they were like, "Hey, PG, we got this gig," and I really didn't want to do it, so I just said an outrageous number. So then I was like, "Yeah, I'll do it for like 2,500," and they're like, "Okay." I was like, "What?" I was like,
Ask
"I
for
don't."
five.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was like, "Okay," because I was like, I'd rather not deal with this. I don't want to, because I had to fly out there, rent a car, and it's a wedding, so I had to dress up. I don't like doing that. I like
Yeah.
wearing a t-shirt and jeans and a little hoodie or whatever. Like that's my getup. Like I don't like doing comedy dressed like I'm about to go to court. You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
I want to be comfortable up there.
Yeah. That's funny you say that because recently I dressed. It was actually when we were working together. I dressed up for spots, and I think it hurt my comedy. I think
You're
like
more of a t-shirt and jeans guy, right?
yeah, I'm
You
a
just
hoodie. I always wear a hoodie on stage, and I just like I listened back to the sets, and I didn't feel comfortable, and there was something just
yeah.
different about it.
If I do wear a button-up shirt, it's usually open.
Yeah.
It's usually like, so I usually wear like a silly shirt, like a t-shirt that I like, with either a band, or I got another one with like a kitten throwing a grenade, something silly. Like so I can show off whatever shirt I'm wearing, but I usually wear it open.
So,
If
so
I
you're
do wear it.
planning way far ahead. What happens? So it's kind of similar question, but let's say you're in Florida and somebody offered, and you don't have anything the next weekend. Does that ever, well, first off, does that ever happen? Like how close in are you usually contiguously booked? Like for right now, do you have bookings for the next 8 weekends, let's say 2 months out? Is it 3 months out?
Yeah, I mean, I got, like, I don't have every week so I got next week. Next week I'm booked. I got the End of the Mountain Gods in New Mexico, and then JP's, and then where am I after that? And I think I'm off for a week, and then I got to go to Pachanga, and then I just picked up this private gig, and I come back from Pachanga back to Arizona on a
Where's
Monday.
Pachanga? I don't know where that is.
That's like that's up in like California.
Okay. All right. So Arizona to California and then back to Arizona. So that's kind of like my question. Like, what happens when you get like an okay gig in like Minnesota? Will you drive for 2 days?
No, like
No.
I mean, for not $500,
Okay.
yeah,
So you
like
you just stay and watch Apple TV and wherever you
yeah, I
are.
do, I do, I do. I divide the country into regions, so I'm in different regions, different time of the year. This is
Okay.
my Southwest. Next is the Northwest, and then
You're not
after the
going to leave
Northwest,
that region. I got it. You'd
yeah, I'm
rather
like a
do like
pirate.
would you do a gig for free or like $25 or beers or something?
Yeah, but
If it's
if
like
it
within 10-minute drive.
10-minute drive, it makes sense. And if it's on an off night,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then I can make it work like that.
Do you feel like pressure to work every night, or are you like my weekends are where I make my money? And I take 5 days off and I write or do
I mean,
whatever.
I would rather work every night. Like I'm starting to figure out how to book these breweries. But it's
Like
like I
you're
want to
booking
work.
them yourself, like you
Yeah,
cold
yeah,
call them and you
yeah,
got a
yeah.
PA system in
Email.
your trunk or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. You just email. You look it around. Like what
Yeah.
city? Because a buddy of mine, Deez Casillas, great dude. Like because I was good at booking the week and stuff, but he was a hustler, man. He was like he would send out like 20 emails a day, to these breweries, and some of them were terrible. Some of them were like, I'm like,
I'm
dude,
sure. I've done that.
I'd rather be pistol whipped. I'd rather shit in my hands and clap than have to do that. And then other ones were great. Other ones were great though.
Okay.
There's like we made $300 each on a Wednesday night one night, and it was, and then another one. It was like a Thursday. The owner gave me an extra $200 because it went so well.
Nice.
She was like, "You're great."
Now, when you try to book those indie things, are you asking for money up front? Are you doing it for free and collecting tips afterwards? Like, are you selling tickets?
No, so that was a smart thing that D showed me. He was like, you got to give them. They like when you can give them an option. You can go, hey, there's a flat fee for this much, or you just book me, and then I'll do the door, and I'll walk up to everybody to the credit card thing.
Okay. Huh. And which do you prefer?
I mean, I'd rather do the door, especially if they do their job, and because you try to book it out, and they you send them flyers and stuff, put like $50 in the flyers and promote the show, and then breweries people support, they'll come out, and it's like some of them are really good. They're like brewery shows, or I've done a few of them where I'm like, this is great. It's better than some of the clubs I've been to where you're doing it for 7 people and wondering what you're doing with your life.
Yeah. There's a guy in Denver, Steve Vanderplug. He was on the show I did last night up in the mountains. He runs this thing called Rotating Tap in Colorado. I think he works with like 20 breweries. He runs like 100+ shows a year at breweries. It's crazy. He's like a little empire of brewery shows in Colorado. It's pretty neat.
That's it, man. Yeah, you just grind, man. You find your ways. Do you know Mike Merrifield?
No.
Great guy, man. He's one of the funniest dudes. He's like us, it's like a t-shirt, but the guy's been at it for a minute. And then I worked with him in Vegas not too long ago, and then he was like, he put it great. He goes, this is basically just an addiction. He's like, I just want to. He goes, I just want to be good enough so I can keep doing it.
Yeah.
I was like, that's one of the most. He was like, does not give a shit about being famous, and neither do I. I was just like, I just want to do this. I feel lucky to do it. I love doing it. You do stuff like this, like I always say, my favorite part about this business is you're never done making friends.
Yeah.
You work with new people all the time. I swear with this great guy, Sidney Smith, last week in Tucson. He was great. He's been doing it for 16 years, and we just ran into each other. And it's just like, it's like this weird thing of like misfit toys where you're like, oh, what's wrong with you? And then like, and you have a weird perspective on the world, and you meet like-minded people, and it's fun, man. You go, oh, okay, I am weird, but I'm not the only one. And then you're gonna like.
What's your worst show story? Maybe one of these indie breweries.
No. It was early in my career. I think I've been doing comedy for like 2 years. I was a little cocky, because I was good. I started getting work fast, and then I got humbled pretty hard, pretty quick. There was this. It was for the Orlando Magic management, like the basketball team.
Yeah.
And I got paid in I don't even like basketball, but they paid me in basketball tickets. But you could bring. It was like this big banquet hall, and then the woman that set it up. She goes, oh, you're going to be a surprise. They don't even know there's a comedian coming. And at the time I did this, there was a basketball player named Patrick Garrity who played for the Orlando Magic, same spelling and everything.
Okay.
And then, and God, dude, I brought my grandmother, who was the sweetest woman, and she doesn't get out much. So she dressed up. And I dressed up, which I don't like, but I dressed up. And then, so I'm like 3 minutes into my set, and there's no opener. I just go up, and it's just a cold open, and there's no stage. So it's like this crazy large, like ballroom banquet thing. And this little wooden floor, where the dance floor is. And I'm in front of the DJ, and it's a wireless mic. And then 2 minutes, the mic just goes, makes this weird, so I go, what is that? And then I'm looking at the DJ, and I'm like trying to whisper, but I have a microphone. I'm like, what is that? And he goes, oh, somebody's using cell phones and it's interfering with the thing. I go, oh, is that it? This is gonna, and then I'm trying to go, and then it keeps popping, and it's throwing, and then so now it's 7. I'm doing a half hour. It's 7 minutes in. I got flop sweat, just dripping. I could feel it just like a river down my back, into my ass, and I'm just like, and I'm burning through material. Like I said, 2.5 years into this. 2.5 years into this, I'm like, I'm just pulling out everything I can, and then I have nothing left in the chamber. So I'm just fucking nothing. I ended on this masturbation joke, and the woman that looked fucking mortified. It was just like, it was horrible. It was dead silence when I was there. I go, okay, I'm done. That silence was shattered by the sound of my grandmother standing up, yay! And she stands up and gives me in a standing, like, and then, oh my God, it's a combination of one of my worst memories in comedy and one of my favorite memories of my grandmother at the same time. It was like, oh my God, it was, yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. You ever work with somebody big you were excited about?
I worked with somebody big, but I didn't know they were big at the time. Shane Gillis's first time hosting, I was headlining.
No way.
Yeah. His first time ever hosting.
So like, have you been doing comedy longer than him, or it was just the first time?
Yeah, I've been doing comedy. Okay. He's been doing comedy for like 10 years. I've been doing it for 23.
Oh my goodness.
So it was his first time. Like, this is in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and I had a rough month, man. I canceled gigs, car repairs, so I'm weary, and then, but this is a nice club though. Like I like this room. He's like, hey man, my name's Shane. It's my friend. I was like, hey man, nice to meet you, dude. And he did good. He did great. He had a great set. He brought a bunch of his buddies out, and I had a great set. And then I get off stage and he's like, first thing he says to me, he goes, why don't you have a special? And I was like, dude, I don't know, man. I was like, I'm terrible. Like, I go, that's the only part I'm good at. It's like everything else, I'm shit. Like, and he goes, you want to hang out? I go, yeah, let's go hang out, man. So he used to be a lineman in college, but he lost a bunch of weight. So his buddies, as a prank, photoshopped his face on Fat Bastard's body from Austin Powers and made like 200 copies of these things. So we go out to the bar, we're drinking, and they're handing them out downtown. So they're just everywhere. So after we go to the bar, we go to this hot dog stand, and I got him hot dogs, and then I'm looking on the hot dog. I go, yo, there's your flyer, bro. And it's like his face right there. I was like, we were laughing. And then this Jersey Shore looking asshole behind me goes, there's your flyer, bro. Like starts mocking me, So I'm just trying to like ignore him or whatever. I'm like, yeah, whatever. He's just getting louder and more obnoxious. And I'm like, I look at Shane and go, yo, Shane, is this guy serious? And then Shane's confused. He's like, yeah, we didn't make fun of strangers, you asshole. And then, and he was wearing like this white jean jacket. Like he looked like a Jersey Shore reject. And then, and then he starts yelling at Shane. He's like, what, bitch? You want to get knocked out? I go, whoa, calm down. By the way, nice jacket, you cunt. And then he starts turning around and he starts screaming at me. And he's like, blah, blah, you want to get fucked up? So I cock my head back and I headbutt this asshole as hard as I can at this hot dog stand. And then Shane goes, what planet are you from? He's just dying laughing. This is his first time hosting, and I'm like the headliner's headbutting some guy at a hot dog stand, But I've been sucker punched before, and I don't let anybody. And I got a bad back. I'm not headbutting people. That's how I de-escalate things. Like the older I get, the dirtier it's gonna be. When I'm in my 50s, I'm gonna be ripping testicles off like a chimpanzee.
That's did you ever run into Shane again?
I did. I saw him out in Texas because I was trying to catch this booker, and Shane was headlining, and he go out on stage, and it's been years. And they're like, we're friends. I got his number and stuff. And I go, hey man, good set. And he looks at me, he goes, oh, thank. And he's like, look at me I go, I headbutted a guy your first time. He goes, Patrick, what's up, man? So then we chatted for a solid hour, man. It was pretty fun.
That's amazing. Man, he's blown up, huh? He's got the
I'm having fun, dude. He is a great, And I actually texted him the whole thing in SNL. I was like, because this girl on my Facebook, she's like, oh, this is, and I just laid into her. I was like, you don't know this kid. I was like, he's just not a racist one as well. It's just like, it was completely taken out of context. And this is a witch hunt, blah, blah, and you have no idea. I go, this is bullshit, you know? And then I just felt bad for him. And I was like, dude, it's going to be cool. You're gonna get paid. And then he's hosting Saturday Night Live. He went like, yeah. I was like, dude, I was so happy for him, man. I was like, good for you, bro. And yeah,
awesome.
he ends up hosting it. So yeah.
That's awesome. Well, when you're ready, is Sam Talent, who's out of Colorado, who's real tight with Shane, he put out his latest special on Shane's YouTube channel.
Oh,
so
nice.
Shane is producing specials now. So when you're ready to do yours, there's your
Oh,
guy.
yeah. That'd be great. Nice. I actually hit him up for that.
Nice. All right. Well, we got to wrap this up. Any other tips for, let's say, once you get to 20 years? What do people have to look forward to? What's something hard and what's something great about being 20 plus years in?
20 plus years in is just the body of work that you have. Like, you just look back. And, you know, the relationships and friendships you made. I think about that all the time. It's just like I have some of the coolest friends. You know, it's just like they're just some of the funniest people. I remember this was years ago. He goes, who would you most like to meet? And I said, my friends in about 15 years, because they're going to be even funnier. And, you know, and I was like, they're going to be even, you know, they're already funny now. I was like, I can't wait to see them, like, how great they're going to be then, you know. And I'm right. Like, they're all like, you know, my friends that I'm close with, I was like, that are comics, man, are just brilliant, you know. And I'm just grateful. And the hard thing is like, you know, when I first started comedy, all you had to do was be funny. Like, I would kill it on stage, and they go, hey, this guy's great. And it's not like that anymore. It's all the different hats you have to wear, you know, tour manager, video editor, podcast host, you know, just mechanic, you know, it's just like so many things, man. And it's so that part's hard, especially like for me, because I'm an introvert. Like you said, like they go, where's your favorite place to go? I go, I don't know. I just see the parking lots from the hotel. I don't barely leave the room. You know, like I like watching Apple TV. I like being I'm not leaving this room till I have to go.
How many? Here's a random question. Do you pay for any streaming services? And
no.
If not, how many different people do you borrow passwords from?
I got my girlfriend. She has a couple passwords, and then there's a couple of websites that I use, and yeah, our matey. You know, like. So they're expensive, dude. Netflix is like $25 a month. You know, I get notified like jacking up the price. It's like, man,
yeah,
you can't keep jacking up the price if you're gonna cancel Mindhunter. You know, like that was what I was paying to see. Like Apple though, they got some quality program. That's Severance, man. If whoever watches this, man, check if you take away anything from this podcast,
watch Severance.
Watch Severance. Yeah. I could talk about that show for another hour, man. That show is so great, dude.
That's hilarious.
I'm so sorry. It took like, dude, I went to log in and I had my Safari goes, it doesn't support Safari. So then I had to go to Chrome, and then it's like, is this really you? And then I'm trying to like, it happens. And you saw me turning it sideways. It makes it go upside down. So yeah. Sorry.
This is great. How can people find you? You're obviously super funny. People who watch this are going to get that impression. I will just say, I get to feature for PG, as he calls himself. 4 shows. So funny. Did a great job. And so if you're a booker out there looking for somebody who's really funny, probably sometime next year he'll be in your quadrant of the United States. And so how do people track you down or check out your stuff?
So I haven't gotten on TikTok yet. Still waiting to get on there, but Instagram and Twitter or X, it's just my initials, PG Road Dog, and that's it. And then Facebook's just my name.
Okay.
So pretty easy to find.
It's Garritty.
No, one T.
No. Oh, geez, look at that. Garritty.
That's it.
Like completely wrong in the title of this thing, which I can fix.
I was looking at my name. I was like, did I put two T's in there? I was like, okay.
There's
Just
two
making sure.
T's. There's an E. It's completely wrong.
Yeah. Can you see my name in the?
P-A-R-R.
I can see your name. Can you see my name
Yeah, I can
on
see
there?
your name, and your name's correct. But the
Oh,
way up at the top, maybe not on your phone, but like on YouTube right now, your last name is just absolutely butchered. But I'll fix that. And
oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I control that. I can change it, and then it
No,
will.
no, no worries, man.
Yeah. So, anyways, this was a great episode. Really
Oh,
fun.
it's so fun, man.
Thanks,
Thanks for having.
Ryan, for
I'll
the
do this
segment.
again anytime, man. I really enjoyed it.
Awesome. Hey, everybody, tune in next Monday. We got another amazing guest every Monday. Always Booking Comedy. Watch the back catalog. Check out Patrick Garrity online. Garrity. We'll see you next time. Bye bye. We're gonna shut.